Welcome to the From the 108 podcast, starring the drunk uncles of White Sox Twitter. He's a Twitter-like whore, an Instagram thirst trap, and your grandma's guilty pleasure, Beef Loaf. A West Coast attitude in a decidedly Midwest body, My Sock Summer. And your host, he's sharing obscure music thoughts to give you time to hit the bathroom, Cherezy E.
Thank you, Cornsey. Welcome to the From the 108 podcast. Get ready for some boosh.
Boosh. Get ready for some
Yes!
boosh.
Yes!
We're going to do some boosh today.
I can't believe it happened.
Smoke weed every day.
Get ready for some bullshit booze and bullshit with very little baseball. And remember the drinking rules. If Beef Loaf says allegedly, or that he manifested that, which he may say about that,
100 times.
you drink. If My Sock Summer talks about the gym or calls us lazy, you drink. And if I talk music or have an awkward pause as we take this train right off the fucking rails, you drink. And of course, you can make all of us drink with a tip of $1.08 or more. But speaking of drinking, my buddies, what are you drinking?
What aren't you drinking, Cherezy? Start us off.
Oh, man.
What are you drinking?
Well, this will be no surprise to you. I got the Wild Turkey 101.
Yay!
We're gonna get a little wild. We're gonna get a little wild tonight. Are you drinking it too?
No, I'm not.
You should switch.
I'm trying to finish this bottle of this 1792.
Okay.
So, I'll get there.
Okay.
Hold that bottle back up again, MSS, near your head. It's much smaller than your head, is what I'm noticing. It's a lot smaller than MSS's head. That's not an acceptable bottle size. I'm sorry. We
this
need to
one
upgrade.
is the size of my head. So this is.
There you go. Now you got the big one.
There we go. There's the big boy. MSS gave me this bottle. MSS gave me this bottle. He's a very generous man. He bought me that bottle. Beef, what are you drinking?
That's nice of me.
I just felt, boys, I had a margarita. I was at a Taco Fest before this. I had a margarita, maybe 2 margaritas. We're not counting how many margaritas we might have had, but I decided that I should just have the Patron for this. And you know what? That Patron goes down very smooth. It's in Yeho.
Go down smooth. If you like,
I like the notes in Yeho. A lot of people like to drink the Blanco. It's smooth, maybe a little smoother. But this, I like the flavor of the Añejo, so I'm gonna stick with
the
that
aged.
tonight.
It's aged, man.
It's aged. I like it.
You know what Patron I like the best? The coffee one, the one that tastes like coffee, because it's easy and it doesn't taste like tequila, and you can do a shot of it and it's fine.
Beautiful.
That's the one I like.
I do like. We got the comments going now. Maybe I should fuck this up more often.
It was impromptu. Usually you're real tight. The fact that you screwed up, we had to celebrate. I'm sorry. MSS felt it too. We both jumped out of our seats like, let's go. Yeah, we got him. Huh?
No, you know what's
What
was funny is, like, for the longest time, we had "If I Fuck Up the Intro" in the drinking rules, and we recently took it out because I would never fuck it up.
You don't fuck up. You're perfect.
As soon as we leave it out, fuck it up. So we know the trick.
Yeah,
we know the trick now. We know
that's
the
how we
trick.
get you to mess up.
Put it back in there.
Senior Sox says Patron in 2024. I mean, my folks got me that as a gift. That bottle of Patron right there, and it's delicious. Senor, kiss my ass. How's that sound? Huh?
Kisses.
I know you have a very respectable penis,
ass.
But you can still kiss my ass. How's that?
Not with the penis, though.
Not with. It's too respectable. I don't need it that close there.
No docking on the buttocks.
Let's be careful.
Calm down.
Early start. Tough start.
My Sock Summer, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Boys, I'm doing fantabulous. As you know, I am a man that resells stuff and sells stuff on the eBays. We have a nice, show that we run called, or a segment that we run called This or That. It's very popular. People love it. And so today I did something I don't normally do, which is I went to a place and delivered a product to somebody, because I don't like going and meeting people. Like, okay, so Facebook has a marketplace that you guys might be aware of or not. People can buy stuff, and these are the most unreliable people in the fucking face of the earth, and they are all on Facebook Marketplace, and they're like, hey, can I buy your item? Is this still available? Can I buy this, please? And you say, yes, it's available. I get a message from a guy who's just like, basically, hey, I like this product that you have. It was a 1983.
Man, I thought it was the butt plug, man. I thought it was the butt plug.
I thought it was the opposite thing, Teresa. I thought it was someone told you that you had sent the thing to the wrong address, and it was from a different account and asked you to deliver it to their house. I thought that's what's going to happen right here.
I don't want to meet somebody that's buying the disposable butt plugs. I don't want to meet that guy. But so
customer
those
for
are
life,
on eBay though. Those are on eBay, and so are the fake Nerf darts. So we'll see which one sells more. So anyway, he gives me this message and he's like, hey, I used to be the bat boy for the 83 White Sox, and I want this 83 print that you have. What can we do here? He's like, would you come to Orland? And I was like, it's funny. There's very few places that I actually go regularly, and one of them is Orland Park. So like, yeah, you're actually in luck, sir. Like, this is one thing that I actually do. So this week I was going to go down Tuesday, got a massive headache, felt like total dog shit. And I was like, I can't go. I can't do anything. I went back to bed for like 3 hours. It was awesome. It was the best day ever. I might start telling people I feel like shit so I can go back to bed for a little while. But yeah, so we go, and I'm like going down to Orland with the thing in the car. And he's like, hey, I'm at this place. I work at this, country club, come through here. And I'm like, okay, cool. And so I have the address, and we make the tines, and we get it going. And I'm driving up 159th, and I got to take a right, and then I got to take a left and go up this other road. At the beginning of the road, big sign says, hey, road's out at the railroad tracks. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. And so I'm like, can I still get there though? I'm just like, I could potentially still get to my destination.
Teresa, he's about to make the run. You remember the run from DC Cab?
Yes. I just like, that's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining like
he's
him
on the
just
railroad
like
tracks.
on the tracks. Just like
No.
I'm almost there. It's fine.
It's all ripped the fuck up and everything. So I get up so far, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it, because I see where it is on the maps, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. I can't go up there, right? So I'm like, I can't do it. So I have to flip around. So first thought is like, hey, I will do I'll try to cut through the neighborhood, and then this calls up. Yeah, that's my daughter, of course. Go upstairs. Good night, love you. Good luck on picture day tomorrow. So no. I'm like, I can't get through there. I'm going through the neighborhood, and it puts me out back to where I was. And I'm like, okay, I got to go down the detour. So they have the sign set up for the detour. So I'm driving way the fuck down, so fucking far down. There's old people in front of me that are just stopping and turning into driveways and turning back around. They're like, fuck it. Whatever I had to do, I'm not doing it, because this is going way too far. And I'm like, where the fuck are we going? So finally, I get all the way down to where I need to take a left to go to the place, right? Or go up to get to the detour. So I'm sitting there at this light. We go through 6 fucking light cycles. Why are we going through 6 light cycles? There's a goddamn church on my left, and there's a fucking funeral procession coming out of the church onto the detour, because that's the only place they can have it. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, I can't make this shit up. So I'm messaging the guy, and I'm just like, hey, listen, this is where I'm at. I'm not late yet, but I'm like, I'm gonna be late probably, but I just want you to know where I'm at and all this shit. And there's a guy in the right hand side, on my right hand side, at the fucking light. There's big signs everywhere. No right on red, no turning on red, no right on red, no right on red. He is blaring his horn at the woman in front of him who stopped and paying attention to the fucking law and not turning right on red. And he's just like yelling and screaming. And I literally want to roll my window down and be like, dude, there's 7 fucking signs in front of you that say fucking no right on red. So anyway, the fucking all this stuff starts. So it starts clearing up, start going. Everyone and their fucking mother is going north on the road that I'm going, or east, west, I don't know. I'm going the same fucking way that I have to go.
This is why he's lost MS, Treasy. MSS has no clue where he's going. He's going in every direction at once.
I'm driving up the fucking side of the thing, and I see what I think is where I need to go. So I just take a fucking left. I'm like, I'll get in there. I'll get right through there, get right into the thing, go right up to the little guard shack, and the guy goes, "Yeah, who are you here to see? Are you here to play some golf?" I'm like, absolutely not. I'm here to meet so-and-so. He's like, oh, man, he's at the clubhouse. You have to go to way over here. You have to go get back into the bullshit.
No,
and
no,
whatever.
no.
People were so
gotta go around
nice.
Just let his shit there. You gotta leave his shit there. Say, hey, I did
People
the
were
best
so
I could.
nice.
He's like, go around that funeral
People
there.
were so nice, though.
Is
In the
anyone
funeral
else
procession, it's the fastest way to get through here.
Is anyone
Yeah,
else
like-
imagining MSS in this whole story with a huge unfurled map in his car and not GPS?
Laying across him.
No, I got the Google Maps up. I don't like Apple Maps. I was with the Google Maps. But no, everyone's real nice though, and let me back in, which was very nice. And then we get out on the road. I get up there, and literally, it is like another mile and a half away from where I stopped. So it's like it's far enough away. It's not like, hey, you could just kind of cut through here. No, I probably couldn't have. So I finally get to where I'm supposed to go. I go in, and the guy's just sitting there, and he's like, hey, and I was like, hey, what's up? And we just talked real briefly. He's like, yo, do you play golf? And I was like, no. He's like, if you ever get your buddies together, come on down. It's play some golf on me. But I'm like, the real thing is like sometime when I need to get a guest for the Ajou, like I have the 83 Bat Boy that I can have on. He can tell us all about Ron Kittle. Tony Arusa getting a little drinky. Well, when's the
We heard
who's the
some Ron
first
Kittle
player?
stories this weekend, by the way.
Who's the
Tracy? Wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah, we did.
Who's the first player to like give you a smoke or a cigarette or something? These are some.
Who had
good
the nudie
things.
mags in the locker room? Yeah, there's a lot of good questions. You can
And
ask,
he's just like going, he's just being very cool and very nice. He's like, dude, I'm so sorry you had to go through all that. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it. I just didn't think I was the one that was fucking this shit up. So anyway, I go back out on the road to get to where I'm supposed to go. And I go out and I take a left. I go up a block, 2 blocks. And I'm on the street I was on that I took a right to go, then had to go through all the detour. Fucking Google Maps not only could have just pointed me up, took a right, come down, south, boom. It tried to do the whole, come over and make it real easy instead of going straight up the main road. They're like, oh, just cut through. Making me cut through fucking took 20 minutes of my fucking life that I'll never get back again. Fuck you, Google Maps. You could have just let me go straight. I could have taken a right, one more right. It was 2 fucking turns I could have done, but you didn't. So I'm not happy with Google Maps right now. But, hey, I was glad everything worked out okay, and I got $50 cash in my pocket. So it was pretty sweet.
I was really waiting for this story to MSS to finally get there, finally meet up with the guy and be like, I didn't bring the thing. I didn't bring the thing.
I threw it in the car because I'm like, listen, this will happen.
Me
At
too.
some point, it will happen. Oh, shut up. Shut the fuck up. All right, for my second banter, no, I'm done.
Now,
So
you gotta
mad,
give a
though.
little. I mean, so you meet the Bat Boy from '83.
Yeah.
The '83 Bat Boy's got to be older than us, I'd assume.
Yes.
And then give me a little description. You don't got to give me the whole. Is it tall? Is it a short, portly gentleman? He's got a big stogie in his mouth.
No,
This is definitely a country club motherfucker. He's out there playing golf or something like that. A little, little description.
He is it was middle-aged guy, probably like 10 years older than us, because that's about right.
You'd be at least a teenager. to do
Good,
that.
look like he's from good stock,
Okay.
his family's from Bridgeport.
Okay.
And he was very happy that the actual print in the frame was actually hung in Shinix. I bought it from a Shinix garage sale, and I was
Did
like,
not
hey, this
realize
was
that.
actually in Shinix. He's like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, that was in the ad. And he's like, no. He's like, man, that's crazy. My whole family's from Bridgeport. I was like, how come you're not in Bridgeport? He's he's like, I just had a fun time with those guys. But no, he's good build. He was wearing one of those
Too many
fucking
people like
things.
us moved in, Treasy.
he's-
That's why they want Bridgeport.
I don't think that's the case. But yeah, like a nice, like a golf, one of those like nice breathable golf polos,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
those
That's
were
key
nice.
in the summer, but
No hair, good tan.
Oh, okay.
He's
tan?
very, very short hair.
Tan and no hair. Telly Savalas, basically. How's the schnoz? Big or no?
No,
Me versus him.
Normal.
Schnoz. What do you got?
Normal
His-
nose.
His
normal
is smaller
nose.
than mine, right? Say it.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, whose isn't? To be honest, we got to get a toucan in here for you to be fucking feel like you have a small nose.
How dare you?
Look at Gonzo.
I was
over
at
here.
Taco Fest. Half the people had bigger noses than me. Fuck
That's
you
not
guys.
true.
Oh,
It's not
bullshit.
true. Half
It
the
is Bridgeport.
people?
All right. It's
Half the
Bridgeport.
people.
25%,
I don't think about half the
whatever.
people.
Doesn't matter.
I'm glad you guys went over there. But yeah, no. So yeah, maybe one day we'll go up to the the golf course and go play some golf. And this,
this is uncalled for. Kirk says beef snows went to my second model. You son of a bitch.
That's why I had to install 2
How dare you?
John
Carney's right. We need to know, was the guy an anteater or not? MSS.
I'm
You tell me right now.
Oh, you don't know.
You didn't find
Totally
out.
unsure.
You don't.
You got $50. You found out. All right. I'm sorry. $50 cash. You know what's going on here, my friend.
Not
How
the
dare
first
you.
time I sell something to him that I grossly overcharged for. No, you take it easy.
You said you hand delivered it. We know what you meant.
I mean, literally though.
dare
The
you.
reason I did is I never do that shit, but I did it because I'm like, I actually go to this place. I go, this is not that far out of my way. Because a lot of times people are like, yo, can you meet me in Schaumburg? And it's like, absolutely not. That's like an hour and 35 minutes to get there. No, and I don't.
Well, this
go
sounded
there.
like a nice quick trip, so
Yeah, it's like
it worked out great.
if Google Maps wasn't such a dickhead, we would have been fine. Would have been totally fine. So.
Son of a bitch.
It would have been great if we were really
story.
panned in on MSS for this, and then like he panned out, and he's still driving home from there.
Yeah, this is my mobile studio.
I'm almost home.
I'm on 57 right now.
Another fucking funeral.
Fuck that guy. No, I was very like calm and contained. I was just like, what can I do? I can't do anything about this. So I'm not going to yell. I'm not getting upset. I'm like, I can't do anything. I go, this is, and then I'm in my head going, this is why you don't do this. This is why you fucking just sell shit. Whatever. It's true.
What's so crushing you right
It's
now?
true. I don't know what direction I'm going at that point. I've gone so far. I'm just following the fucking arrows to go this way or that way.
I just imagine MSS like all pissed off, like I'm almost out of all my Costco gas. I'm going to pay full price for gas out here.
That'll
There
cause
was
a problem.
no, it's cheaper there, dummy. But there's also a Costco there because, and I was like,
Of course, there's. Well, you're a Costco guy.
He cut through the
people.
parking lot as part of this route.
There was so many people going there. I was like, there's no.
So I'm
fucking
driving
way in
through to
hell.
Costco. I'm almost there. I had to stop for a couple samples. Only one though. Only one at a time.
He missed the one light because he was double fisting chicken bakes.
He had a fucking rotisserie chicken.
2 chicken bakes. No one can eat 2 chicken bakes. That's the stupid.
Sure,
That's
Jan.
dumb.
And I ruined the whole thing because I dropped my rotisserie chicken on the side.
Dude, the rotisserie chicken is the deal, man. You got to get one every time you go.
Hey, no free ads, motherfucker. No
Do you have
free
the
ads.
shirt? Do you have the shirt with like that old guy that has the shirt with the with the code, with the UPC code for the rotisserie chicken, because he goes and gets it every day, so he just wears the shirt and they scan his shirt.
Holy shit, I didn't realize that.
I don't know that shit.
Oh, man,
you're not
that's
cutting enough
you.
corners, buddy.
That's
Yeah,
you.
exactly. You're fucking up. You are fucking
I
up.
only go like once every month. I've slowed down. I used to go more. I don't go as much anymore.
Well, we got a guest backstage, so we'll get to our shit.
Let's hit the drink though. We got a little drink.
Oh, you got a drink. We got a
that
drink.
dropped in there. You got to get Senor's drink in there, and then
Senior Sox says, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" Drink. Cheers.
You gotta listen,
Thank you,
dumb fuck.
Senor.
Clean the shit out of your ears. Potatoes, the White Sox babe thing. I tell my daughters that all the time. Get the potatoes out of your ears and start listening.
That's an old school one, baby.
Oh my god. MSS, I don't know if you're ready for this.
I'm ready
but I'm
for it.
I'm gonna need you to pay some bills.
Let's do it.
Pumpkin spices everywhere. Creamer, coffee, cookies, cake, cereal, cocoa mix, candles, and that's just the C's. But pumpkin spice shrimp? No way! You don't want to mess with the classics. Lawrence's has been frying up your favorite shrimp for nearly 75 years, avoiding all the trends. You can always count on Lawrence's to deliver the best fried foods in the city of Chicago. So stop by one of our 4 locations today or visit our website at chicagoshrimp.com to place an order for pickup or delivery. Come see why Lawrence's Fish and Shrimp have been serving up the seafood you crave since 1950.
All right. So we recently we were at one of the games, and it was they're going for the record, right? Like they're trying to well, they weren't trying to lose, but they're trying to win.
They were racing towards the record potentially.
But they're racing towards the record.
Ah.
And they lose or they win, and people booed the win. And there was a whole to-do. It was a whole to-do on Twitter, and people were upset about it. And B-Flow put out the bat signal because we wanted to talk to somebody who had booed at the game, who was at the game, and they booed. And Sox of Gold was nice enough to join us tonight. So we're going to have him out here. I'm going to hand it off to Beef because Beef is very interested in this topic. So here we go. Welcome, Sox of Gold. Zach, I believe. And Beef.
Yes.
Beef, take it away, my friend.
Zach, thanks so much for joining us. I really appreciate you coming on, taking the time to help us unpack this because, you know, we don't understand things and we bring on guests who are experts at those things and detail them. But before we get into it with you, I need to do a little rapid fire with you to find out what kind of Sox fan you are. This will just get the audience ready for you because they don't know you that well and we don't know you that well. So I got a rapid fire questions for you, 5 questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, let's go. How long have you been a White Sox fan?
Whole life. So that's 24 years.
Beautiful. All right,
yeah,
24 years.
24.
Fuck yeah. Who was your all-time favorite White Sox player?
Paul Konerko. I played first base when I played baseball for a short stint. So Paulie K.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
Great choice.
Good call.
Were you at the blackout game?
I was not.
Okay.
But you were like,
Answer is no. But
how old were you though? So you were pretty young.
he's like 7 or 8 years old. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
he's
so-
a little kid. All right. Okay.
So he didn't go out there and scalp tickets for the game. So we know that. We know
Wasn't
that.
expected to be drunk with
Wasn't
us
that
at the bars afterwards, Treasy. But he could have went to the game. It's possible, right? Have you ever bought a giveaway from My Sox Summer?
Not knowingly, but maybe. Sure it was bought.
He didn't drive out to your home and then complain about the traffic. Okay, wait, we got that down. Okay, no
my
giveaways from
God.
My Sox Summer. Last question here: love or hate Ken WO?
Ooh, hate.
That's correct. All right. So you're at the game Tuesday, September 24th versus the Angels. That's the potential record-breaking loss game. Set the scene for me. Who are you there with? Kind of what are you drinking, eating? Kind of what's the mood? What you're getting out to the ballpark? I don't know how many times you've been this year, but you're going out there. Like, explain to me how's it going with you?
Sure. So I actually bought those tickets when I knew they had a chance to break the record at home. So I think it was about a couple series before that. And I didn't only buy the tickets to that game. I bought the tickets to all 3 home games thinking, maybe they squeak out 1 win. There's no way they're winning 2, but just in case, might as well buy all 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the best part of that is I bought tickets for me and a +1. Didn't know who the +1 was going to be at the time. So 6 total tickets for a total of $35.
Yes.
So
That's like 1 weekend seat for us for our season
Exactly.
tickets. That's how bad we got hosed on the year with our
No
season
doubt.
tickets.
No doubt.
Absolutely crushed.
Yeah.
I love this. I love that. So the
fine.
intention was, hey, I want to catch this game, and I think a lot of us were like that too. Even season ticket holders were like, well, we want to be in attendance when
Yes.
this happens. Okay, so the 8th inning rolls around, and the Angels are winning. They're up 2-1, and it's looking good. The White Sox have been struggling all game. Brian Ramos doubles, and now it's 2-1. And Jack Lopez misplays Luis Roberts' pop-up to tie the game. How are you feeling at that point when the game gets tied?
I started laughing like the Joker when that pop-up got missed, because it wasn't just that the Angels blew the lead. They blew the lead in the most White Sox way possible. Right?
Yes,
this game
absolutely.
being handed to the White Sox. Oh man. And I mean, there are people at that point, I'm not yet booing. Everyone is there's a lot of people booing there. It was pretty hostile, but
It did get loud at that point. You're right about that. And it's funny you mentioned that, because someone in the section, I can't remember who it was like, oh, that's exactly how the fucking White Sox do it. And we were like, we're finally getting the benefit of some of this,
And
So
what was crazy too in that situation was that because everybody there except for the Mets fans that were there, everybody there was Sox fans, and it was like even the people who kind of booed at the end, I think a lot of them cheered at that point because it was just like such a reaction to the Sox are doing something good finally. My body is just expelling a cheer because it hasn't been able to do
building
that in
up.
so long.
Yes.
And so there was a lot of cheering at that point. I think later in the game though, it turned.
say we'll get there on that. So immediately afterwards, Benintendi comes through with the go ahead single to take the lead. Sox of Gold, are you devastated at this point? Or are you thinking the White Sox have it in them to pull one more game? Like, what are you thinking? How's your psyche right here? You know?
So I ended up taking one of my best friends who's a Mets fan. So that starts to complicate things a little bit too, right?
Yeah.
But I said to him before the missed pop-up, I said, I have never been so confident in the outcome of a game that I'm attending because it's the Sox and they were losing and I knew they were going to lose. And I was just like, on cloud nine, anticipating this loss. And at some point it becomes, I'm not rooting against the team necessarily, just rooting against the situation. And I kind of think that that's what I was falling into there for sure. So I think, by the 8th inning, I thought the Sox were still going to lose. I thought they were going to find a way to blow it. I mean, who knows who comes out of that bullpen and immediately gives up some runs, like every other game of the season, right? So I thought they would still have a chance to lose at that point.
Oh, and it's a good call because legitimately who came out of the bullpen is a guy I was expecting to blow it as well, is Justin Anderson. Now, he does give up one base runner, but he gets Eric Wagaman to tap back to the mound and flips the ball over to Gavin Sheets. The Sox win, fireworks go off, and then boos erupt. And so, Sox of Gold, were you in there immediately at the boos, or did you hear the boos and you're like, fuck yeah, I'm getting in on these boos? Like, were you initial, or were you like, okay, I'm jumping in a little bit later?
Yeah, I jumped in a little bit later, enjoyed the fireworks. It's always good to see the fireworks, right?
Oh,
but, I mean, some people may say I'm not a real fan because I booed, but, I booed because I'm a real fan, right? And it's just the situation, and it's not great. It's never great to boo your own team, but what also isn't great? Losing 121 games in a season.
Well, they hadn't lost 121 yet.
Well, right.
Oh, they're at 120. So 120 was fine.
Oh, actually, no, the 120 is okay, but 121, that's crossing the line, MSS.
Listen,
we're sorry.
MSS, this is, you're going down your cannibal route again. Like, you're got a bad argument rolling here.
We're expecting to lose 110, maybe 115. Say we were going to lose 120.
How dare you?
That's crazy talk. Come on.
How dare you?
Oh my god.
So okay,
Somebody's got to play the bad guy.
That makes sense there. Treasy, you wanted to jump in?
I was generally indifferent. on the booing. When we were walking out, I think it was Bruhan Luke was like, I can't believe people are booing. This is bullshit. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. So I was pretty much indifferent to it. But I think the booing the situation has sold me a little bit. But so I have a different question for you. Let's say it's a couple years from now. Are you coming on the trip with us, like those Mets fans were, to go see the team that's going to lose 122? Right? Because we got to travel for that, right? Like, we're not going to probably be able to travel for White Sox playoff games anytime soon. So if we...
We gotta hope that this might happen.
We gotta hope that someone really fucking stinks the next couple of years, and we get to go travel for that 122nd loss and get that stink off the franchise.
But I don't want to go to Sacramento.
Oh,
I don't want to go to Sacramento. Sacktown,
be
Bay
wherever
Area,
the White Sox are
Macktown.
playing at that point, right?
I would think so. Yeah, it's hard to even envision who the next team would be that bad is. Like, it's not even. It's I can't do it. I can't put it in my head and say, oh yeah, a team will get to this point.
It's been a lot of years. I mean,
it's shocking the Rockies haven't been there. Like, the Rockies seemingly do not try. And like, you would think that they would get there, but not so much.
That thin air gets it going.
No,
Zach,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
You go ahead, MS.
This is the only thing I was going to say. I was one of the ones. I do care, and that's not. But I don't also. I want to make it very clear. I don't care what people do and how they fan. If you want to boo, go ahead and boo. If you want to do this, go ahead. And as long as you're consistent, and if you're consistent with it and you're through, that's fine. I don't care. But also, don't tell me what the fuck to do. So, like, this entire season, and I'm not saying you have been doing that at all, Zach. We don't even really know you. So I'm not. This is not a personal thing, but it's like all year we've been hearing you're supporting the problem. You're the reason that the team sucks. You're the reason because you're a season ticket holder and you're going in there and all this, right? And I'm like, okay. All right, fucking calm the fuck down. I like to sit outside. I like to drink overpriced beers or sneak in my own liquor. Or
mostly that.
Yeah, and or do whatever when we go into the fucking game. Now we get to this point where we're here, and everyone and their fucking brother has shown up for this series. It hasn't been there all fucking season, not since opening day, maybe not even opening day, and they're there to watch the fucking death of something that they claim to love. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's cool that the old heads are out here and they're having fun and they're doing all this and they're saying this, but.
Is there a question for our guest?
I was like, is there a question for Zach? Or it's just like, Zach, you're going to give me a therapy session here. You're going to listen.
I feel like I'm listening to the Dragon story again.
We keep Zach listening to you any longer. We got to pay him to be here.
All right, Zach's in. Zach's in the fucking pool now. I'm going to pee on him. No. So, once again, it's fine. Do what you want to do. Here's what was driving me crazy. Is that all year, all I heard from a lot of people was like, this is so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing to be a Sox fan. I can't be a Sox fan. They're losing. Just win a game. And then all of a sudden, they fucking don't win a game, or they don't lose a game. They win a game. And fans are like, why can't you fucking lose a game? I thought that was embarrassing in you all year. And now that's what you want. And it wasn't just that first game, it was the second game and the third game. People were coming out of the suites and we're hanging out and they're like, they can't even lose right. Fuck these guys. What the fuck? Why are we coming here for this? And it's like, yo. So anyway, just am like, how do you, now I'm trying to think of a question.
You didn't have one. I knew you didn't have a question. I know you had no question. How dare you?
Zach, I don't even have a question.
We retract all of that from the statement here. That never happened.
Fucking believable.
5 minutes.
No question.
I'll go
5 minutes, no question. He has no goddamn question. Zach, I do have a question for you. I have a question for you, Zach. Now, and this is a serious question, actually. So you were booing, and a lot of people were. But the 108ers, we were cheering, high-fiving and such. Do you think we're fucking idiots for doing that? No. Like win whatever 37 or 8 or whatever, so we're out of 20 losses, and we're cheering and stuff, and everyone's looking at us like, why are you cheering? This team's horrible. Like,
you're not idiots for doing that. Other reasons I can't speak to. That in particular. No, I totally agree with MSS, where the thing that really bugs me as well is all the discourse, right? The fact that it blew up on Twitter, like, don't fucking boo, like, what are we even talking about here? I mean, from my perspective, it's the same thing as like rooting for a manager to get fired, right? You want to better the team, so let's make a change. Like, let's have a turning point. Let's rally around something.
That's a good call.
Like, that's why I was booing. It's the same reason for that. And I think that, just in general, do what you want. Fan how you want to fan. I went to probably more Sox games this year than I have in another year, just because I lived close this year. And, a ticket rep reached out to me this year, which is the first time ever, right? So it's like, I was there to see some bad games, and I get like not supporting for money, what reasons and all that too, but do whatever you want. I don't care.
Mean, it's clearly worked, Zach. Sox attendance has been abysmal, and that Jerry Reinsdorf has righted the ship right as soon as people are like, I'm not going anymore, and he's made it better. So you might as well do what you do. You said something very interesting there. You said a ticket rep contacted me, and I went to more games than I've gone to any other previous year. Folks, it works. Marketing works. Okay. Right, carry on.
Allegedly.
MSS couldn't help but defend.
Got to do it.
Oh, he had to get in there.
Oh, my God.
Still no question, but he got in there to defend his people.
Still no
Just saying, it worked for our guy here. I know he was close, but still, it worked. It worked.
Before we let you go, Zach, the commenters are very interested in your microwave behind you. People were saying it's distracting them. Other people say it looks extra clean. Is it a 1 out of 10? How clean is it? What brand is it? Like, they're very curious on the microwave,
No free ads, but it is a GE microwave. I rent, and this microwave sucks. It's horrible. Works like 25% of the time. Would not.
It's like the Sox when you want them to lose.
25% is better than the Sox.
A little bit. A little teeny bit better.
Zach yelling at his microwave is like, this is the one time I only wanted to do 25% when he's cooking like a bag of popcorn, and it just fucking burns the shit. And then your house smells like burnt popcorn.
Absolutely hammered, 2 a.m., trying to microwave something. It's not working. Booing the microwave. I love it. Zach, thank you for joining us, man. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you just being willing to come on. I think on Twitter it was a fiery conversation. I mean, I knew it wouldn't be here, but we appreciate you jumping on, and we'll see if you live close to the park. We'll probably see you around. We owe you a couple beers. All right?
Yeah, sounds good. Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
That was terrific. That couldn't have gone better, in my opinion. Like that was absolutely awesome.
Nice dude. Nice dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know that.
But Beef, we got to get back to a little bit of banter. Get into the banter a little bit.
Let's do it.
Me and you are still alive in that Survivor pool.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are. Yeah.
So we gotta.
How much is on the line, Treasy? You gotta let everyone know how much is on the line and how many people are left here.
So that's the beautiful thing. 2 people were on the Jets this week. Jets lose to the Broncos. I'm going bananas in my house for the Broncos of all teams. Rooting for fucking Bo Nix of all people. I'm going crazy. The Broncos win. I'm like, Beef, we're down to 5 teams. 5 teams are left in this. 46 grand on the line.
Let's go. One time, baby. One time.
Jesus.
Now, we've got a few teams. This week is tough.
This is a tough week.
Brutal
for
week.
us. Yeah.
The Niners are probably one of the better picks this week. We used them. We used them last week.
Yeah.
So we could think that the Jets still suck. We could go after the Vikes, but that's the London game, man. I don't know if I want to touch the London game.
Yeah.
We got.
It is winner take all baloney.
It is winner
unless
take all.
we make a deal later on. No one is.
Know what?
Someone reached out last week to try to make a deal. That person was eliminated. So there's 5 left. No one's trying to make a deal right now. Everyone seems to be playing for it. I think Treasy and we might consider a deal down to 2 maybe, but I think we want to play for it.
Now, an interesting one is the Chiefs Monday night against the Saints. We get to see everything play out. And we know, because you could see the teams that people have picked, that 3 of the 5 teams have already picked the Chiefs this year.
That's right. So we're going to be mostly by ourselves. So.
We would be, only one other person could have the Chiefs if that were the case. Yeah. So we could be in that situation. We have used the Seahawks. I see someone putting the Seahawks. We have used the Seahawks.
We did
already.
use the Seahawks.
That was our week 1. Another team that I'm looking at is the Commanders. And now, like, the way that we've picked this so far is like we're trying to go against a team that we don't believe can score on the offensive side. And the Browns stink on offense. Now, Nick Chubb was limited in practice this week.
Yep.
David Njoku was limited in practice this week. So they could possibly play. That throws a wrench in that plan because then they have like a reasonable offense.
Yep.
Although I still think the Commanders can outscore them, especially if Myles Garrett is not going to play.
Yep.
So I'm looking at the Commanders. It's weird to say that. With 46 grand on the line, I'm thinking Commanders.
The Chubb thing, I was thinking it probably won't be this week either, but we were kind of going to wait a little later just to double check.
We have until Sunday morning to do this because we obviously didn't take a team tonight. It's still up in the air who's going to win tonight. So I'm glad we're not on that. I'd be sweating it. So I'm looking at those really right now. The two of the teams I'm looking at are the Commanders and the Chiefs. Beef, who else you got?
I mean, the team that came to mind immediately to me, Teresi, and I told you, made my fucking stomach hurt, and Sammy Davis Jr. 5K's got it in the chat, is the Bears. Bears against Panthers. Immediately was Bears at home. I think that's a very winnable game for him. I mean, I know Andy Dalton's been better than Bryce Young was, but I still don't trust that Andy Dalton can get by against these Bears. It just feels like a very winnable game for the Bears. When we're looking at point spreads for these 3 games, the Chiefs are 5.5-point favorites. The Commanders are 3-point favorites, and the Bears are 4-point favorites. So these are small favorites in the grand scheme of things. There's not really a big favorite. The Niners are 7.5, which we can't take. Seahawks at 6, we can't take. So we are very much in a bind here. But the Bears are the ones I felt most confident about, most bravado about, kind of right out of the gate, just because of their defense. I think that their defense, especially at home, and the Bears are on a nice winning streak at home anyway. Now they haven't played a lot of quality opponents, but the Panthers aren't a quality opponent.
Panthers aren't one.
They're not very good.
They like the amount that they've scored in the past 2 weeks pushes me off of them a little bit, right? Where like the ginger magic of Andy Dalton is somehow
he's moving the ball,
somehow making things work.
That's exactly what
that's right.
That fucking redheaded stepchild come rolling in and ruin your fucking
I know,
life.
that's what we're worried about.
Yep.
I know.
Little concern, like
You got to watch out for those fucking redheads.
I mean, there's a part of me that thinks we'll take the Bears, and I'll bet like $2,000 on the Panthers to win.
Just to get that hedge in there right away. Yeah, I mean, we're at the point. I think we're probably a little too early to truly hedge. And so it makes it tough. Baloney asks, is he crazy to think Jaguars? Just because I don't think the Colts are good enough to win 3 in a row. The Jags are 0-4 though. They're 0-4. It's a little tough to take the Jags, in my opinion.
I don't want to fuck with the Jags. I don't get on Sunshine. Like, I stay away from him. Like, he's just like I'm not in.
No,
I'm not in.
Sunshine's on my fantasy team. That's where we leave him. We leave Sunshine on my fantasy team. He doesn't get in the 46,000. He's in the I can win a couple $100 when I win that league type level of guy.
Yeah. He's I don't want to have any money on him. But MSS,
Yeah,
we need your advice.
man.
Jump
Bears or Commanders?
So, like, I write down all this shit. You know that because I'm a degenerate gambler now.
I love it. I'm so happy
$5
about
Welcome.
this.
$5 a pop. Okay.
It's about time you made it here with us.
Yeah, I'm in. The
Welcome
way
to the
you
club.
Sold, the
The
way
big
you
penis
sold the
club.
Commanders to me, I was like, man, he's making it sound good. You're making it sound really good. So I would say the Commanders or the Sea Chickens. Those are those two. I like the Seahawks too for some reason, but the Commanders
We can't take
for some
them.
reason.
We can't take the Seahawks.
Oh, you can't take them,
That was my first week, so I had them.
and you can't take the 49ers either. So
Don't
yeah,
take
49ers, no Seahawks.
I say you got to take Commanders.
Oh man, we got to take the Bears.
You're doing let it ride against them.
I know. I just need.
Well, you didn't
I
even
just-
bring the Chiefs in.
I need the comments to tell me the Chiefs, and then I'll know. And then
They don't seem strong in any direction. The
No,
commenters
they
tell us
don't.
who you think you should take. We got Chiefs, Bears,
I'm gonna-
Commanders. Who do you like? I mean, that's.
I think I'm going to
kinda
put
like
up
the
a
three we're
poll.
down to.
I'm going to put up a poll, and whoever comes in last, I'm going to pick.
That's,
The Panthers-
I think that's a.
that's the choice.
The Panthers have fucked me over enough times this year. Like, I just think, they're going to do something decent, or somebody says, hey, this is going to happen because I listen to other people, and then they come out and lay eggs. So when I bet them, so I don't know, fuck it, I wouldn't. I don't know. That's a hard one. It's a hard one.
If we're not making a pick right this second, but I am still leaning Bears. And much as it makes me sick to my stomach, because we'll be watching that game, and we'll be watching it very closely, and so yeah, it's some heartache there. Regarding Chiefs and Commanders, I'm neutral. You feel strong on Commanders, Treasy. I think you like.
I like the Commanders,
better
but
than the
it
Chiefs
might
as well, so.
be because I just want to use this meme.
I mean, part of it's for content, a lot of it's for money, but part of it's for content. So
Oh no, you focus on money. We got plenty of content streams that we have. Okay, you stay focused on the thing.
well, we were looking ahead to week 6, and we realized. I think the Chiefs are on bye week 6, so we can't even use the Chiefs next
Yeah,
week.
the Chiefs-
And we're down to a critical amount. So, like, if a couple people get knocked out, like, you might be at the deciding week, and so you can play it a little more square than you normally can when the pool is bigger.
I have a feeling if one team gets knocked out this week, that the split's going to happen, because then everybody's going to get 10 grand. Like, if there's 4 teams left, everybody could get 10 grand, and you could play for the last 6.
Yeah.
Like, I think like people are kind of waiting to get to that point. I think if the Jags would have won this weekend and we would have been down to 3 teams, I think there probably would have been a split. Let's get a couple drinks here.
Let's do it.
Baloney says, what's worse, booing the Sox in front of the 108 guys or booing Jerry Krause in front of his wife?
Cheers, Malone.
Cheers.
It's
got to be Krause. It's got to be Krause.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I'm
also
still,
way dumber too.
I'm still not sure why Jerry Krause was being booed.
I was gonna say I understand why the Sox were being booed. I didn't understand that at all. I don't get that. As someone who lived through that era,
He ruined the Bay. He ruined the Bulls. He ruined the whole franchise.
They were never staying together. Pippen was gone.
We know.
Our guy
You don't have to
CJ,
explain it to me. I'm saying this is why they booed.
our guy CJ says, Bears. Oh my God, bad teams. I just can't quit you.
Thank you, CJ. Appreciate it.
Cheers. Treasy, you ever think that how much of an easier of a decision this would be if your brother would have not taken who did you take first week?
It would have been even more difficult because we would have had to pick 2 teams a week.
I was gonna say we wouldn't want to take the same team. That's a bad idea. So we'd have to play against each other. We'd have to make more picks if we had made it this far. Now we'd have more equity.
You'd
That
have
would be
that.
nice.
That's the thing.
A little more equity. Chicago's finest says, hate to say it, how about Green Bay? We did look at Green Bay initially. And
I think Green Bay's on the road, right?
They're on the road, so it makes it a little
so-
tougher. But that's still a decent pick. We didn't rule them out initially. We talked about them early on.
I'm like super hesitant to take teams on the road because I think like just to run your offense on the road is so much more difficult, and to run your offense at home is so much easier.
Right.
That like when I'm looking at trying to get a team that's more low scoring, like that hurts the equation. And so like I haven't really looked at road teams too much. We're gonna get to the point very soon where we have to take a road team. I mean, like I honestly was thinking about the Vikings, who are not technically a road team, but they're also traveling across the fucking ocean
It's
to play a game.
And weird grass over there, I hear. You know, like it's soccer grass. It's not as deep rooted, so they might be getting a lot of falling downs.
I haven't smoked it, so I don't know. But Sam Darnold's a mutter, though, man. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine. Beef, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm willing to forego my banter if you guys think it's appropriate with the time. The only thing I want to do, because we're getting a little long in the tooth here, the only thing I wanted to do before is I skipped 2 drinks on Yazoo because I was interviewing Joe Sheehan. I needed to stay focused on there. So I was hoping we could take these drinks right now. I didn't put the graphics in there, but I got a drink from HBIC to start the show.
Cheers.
So thank you, HBIC. Appreciate you.
Cheers, HBIC.
And then I got a drink from our good friend Jay Zell.
Oh,
and actually a $4.99 drink, not a $1 drink. So that was cool. Thank you, Jay Zell.
Cheers, Jay-Zell.
shout out Freddie Garcia.
Yeah, we'll catch up on my banter. We can do that some other time. So.
By the way, great job with Joe Sheehan.
Thank you, my
Great
friend.
job with
Appreciate
Joe
you. I enjoyed it. It was
a
he's a guy I've been a fan of for 20 plus years, and so I kind of cold reached out, and he couldn't have been nicer. He's like, oh yeah, I'll do that, and this night works well, and okay, sounds good, and he was amenable to everything. So, but it was
very
really
cool. I've been a fan of him for a really long time, so it was really really cool to see him, and I just love that he kept calling you Patrick. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that.
Other people have been busting me out about that too. It's like he didn't want to go for the moniker. Everyone's different,
Everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah.
I will say, I don't mind you foregoing your banter. It's usually great, but the next segment is basically banter, and
Pretty much.
so let's get into that.
10 and 7 a.m. First call for alcohol. First call for alcohol. Bro.
Now, was that shorter or longer than Smash or Pass?
Shorter.
MSS?
I think it's longer actually.
They're both the same length. They're
Same
both
length?
15
Really?
seconds. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Felt a lot shorter, right?
But Smash or Pass gets into my soul in a certain
Smash
way.
or Pass is still
It's
still undefeated. I'm just like, and it's undefeated because it feels so long, and it's not. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Smash or pass.
I'm kidding. We're not gonna do that.
Oh man,
But we're doing first call, so it's a lot like last call, but it's first. And so
It is first. That's right.
So I did not watch the VP debate the other night. It was on. Didn't watch it. Mainly because it's fucking stupid that it exists. But people the next day were like going all crazy about it. And like, I don't see this as anything that could possibly change a person's vote. No. But people get all amped up and watch it and shit. And I'm trying to think. My question to you guys is, can you think of any other competition or thing like that is so inconsequential? And I see the irony in this because I watched the White Sox in their 121 loss.
Yeah.
But it's so inconsequential that people get really amped up about. Can you think of like the Olympics maybe? Like, I don't know. Like, what is something else that is just like,
The Olympics
why the fuck
feel
are
like
people so all over this?
The Olympics feel like they have consequence. What doesn't have consequence, and people have a lot of opinions about them, are all-star games. The way they're played, the way they're put together, whatever, and they're just totally meaningless exhibitions. And people have a lot of like, oh, well, if you did it this way, the game would be more competitive. Who gives a fuck if the game's competitive or not? It's just a fucking exhibition game. It doesn't matter. No one gets anything for it.
Like NBA All-Star game, people get like, whoa,
they're with that. I'm not playing any defense. Whatever. Who gives a fuck? It's a pickup game, motherfucker.
Points. What? Oh, they're not playing defense. Well, no shit. I mean, come on.
No one wants to get hurt. The only reason they have this game is so that you could be picked to it, not the actual playing.
I would say like any consolation game that's not like first or second, like when you get into like third or fourth and like anything, like, yo, we're playing for third place, like in Little League.
I've been in a lot of those games.
It's like, who fucking cares?
I still played hard MSS.
I'm sure you did. And you know what? The kids should. But you know who shouldn't care? Anybody else that's not playing the game. Like, there's no reason for it. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to fucking polish off your fucking bronze trophy and be like, hey, look it. I got third place. No one ever says that.
The Jackie Moon, fourth place.
This is a great comment. Inconsequential, the 108 tourney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
White Sox Sal, you shut up. All right? You take that out of your goddamn mouth right now.
I walked right into that motherfucker.
By the way, GFI Awards, I've got nominations for like everything, and I put like podcast of the year. I got almost no nominations for that. Everyone's like, we don't care. Fuck everybody. So I have to make that one up on my own.
Weird to nominate us, but we know we're already.
I'm not nominating us. We will not be in the list.
I don't want to be involved.
But regardless,
we're too good for that.
There's other ones in here. Sammy Davis 5K says Soggy Biscuit because everyone wins in Soggy Biscuit. I think that we used to call that Ookie Gookie Cookie, I think is what he's saying there.
Yeah.
John Carney says American Idol.
People do go crazy for that.
They do.
They do. It's not really worth anything.
And they don't really do anything afterwards.
Tadahito says anything to do with NASCAR. No, that's not true. They're playing for money and prizes and everything. I think that's a legit thing. So
the NASCAR in Chicago this year really fucking turned a corner. People are like all in love with it again. Like all in love with it. So I don't know.
White Sox Sal says any podcast drafts in 2024. I almost suggested we do a game night at some point, and I thought, we probably won't bring that back. It's probably not going to happen. And then Senior Sox actually asks, are we still the number one minority podcast? White Sox Twitter, of course. Yeah.
It's not even close. Who the fuck else is?
No one else.
Puerto Rican
has
MSS,
a Puerto Rican. Everyone else has a Puerto Rican.
Show your Puerto Rican, and then you can compete with us. How's that sound? Son of a bitch.
I do like this from Jackie Trevor. Bernardi wins pot of the year by default since he didn't churn through half a dozen of them.
I was going to dunk on him. People were loving him too much, but I was going to dunk on him. His biggest accomplishment of the year is his podcast made it all the way through the season. I was going to bury him, but I was like, I'm going to wait till the Tigers are out of the playoffs because I don't want to be, Beefloaf, he bad lucked them. Now they're in the World Series. They're fucking us. Like, I want to let them get knocked out, and then maybe I'll throw that out.
We're inconsequential when it comes to that. I was shocked that Jason was not in the locker room for the celebration.
Should have got in there, man.
I mean, where was he? I mean,
he's not announcing these games because they're national games.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You want to be in their fanboy.
That's a fair point. Thank you.
You're
telling me that.
He's on a Caribbean island like Billy Ray Valentine right now.
No, he's not.
Fuck yeah.
He's fucking writing notes for fucking Clemson and someone so-and-so,
He's having the lobster and the crab, man. He's fucking out there, man. MSS. What do you got for first call, buddy?
First call. So a guy died this week. His name, the Hit King, Pete Rose. And there was a lot of good takes out there and a lot of bad takes, but a lot of people are like, oh, they're going to probably let him in, when because he's dead. They didn't want to give him it when he was alive. And then listen to AJ Przinsky do his little beef. It's like, listen, everyone, and Steve Stone has said the same thing. Like, you walk into spring training everywhere, Article 21 everywhere. Do not bet on the sport, and do not bet on your team. And if you bet on your team, lifetime ban. If you bet on a sport, it's a year ban or whatever. And so he says that, and then Aloha Mr. Hand sends me Johnny Bench's comments afterwards. And I thought he was on the Dan Patrick Show, and I thought that Johnny Bench is the one person that can actually speak on this because he knows Pete. He's had to share a lot of rooms with Pete, probably understands Pete more than anybody else in the world. And he says, he goes, we tried for years, with, and Dan Patrick's like just trying to say, hey, you're probably going to let him in. He's like, no, I don't think they're going to let him in. And we tried everything. We were like, we're going to do this. Pete would do this. Pete wouldn't do it. Pete would start it, not do it. Pete lied at the beginning because he didn't think he'd get caught. Then he got caught. So then he said, I'm not lying anymore. I did it, but I only did this. And they're like, well, okay, well, still not enough. And they're like, oh. And he talks about how all his old teammates tried to get together with him and do all these things. And Pete Rose just had nothing to do with it. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm going to come out and just say it. I hope he never gets into the Hall of Fame. I don't care, because it just seemed like he couldn't help himself and he thought he was just too good for all this stuff. Want to know what your guys' thoughts were on Pete Rose making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I don't have a strong feeling on Pete Rose making the Hall of Fame, because, like, I don't think you should be disqualified from the Hall of Fame for being a dickhead. Because I think Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, and I think Jose Canseco should be in the Hall of Fame. But Pete Rose, like, actively campaigned to not be in the Hall of Fame, to be honest. Like he did everything he could to not get in the Hall of Fame, and he's a piece of shit. So fuck him. I don't know. Like, I hope he enjoys his time in hell. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck about Pete Rose. Great job playing until you're 52 to get all the hits. Like, I mean, like, I don't know what else to say about the guy. He was a great baseball player.
He was a great
baseball player. But there's a ton of great baseball players, and not all of them are in the Hall of Fame. There's some average baseball players that are in the Hall of Fame. I'd like to rip them out, but
both you guys.
But that's not what we're talking about. But, like, at the end of the day, he broke some very specific rules in baseball. Yes. And you could say, like, oh, gambling's legal now. It's still not legal to gamble on your team.
No,
like, that's
not for the players at all.
That is still very fucked up to do. So, like, that,
it's not legal. It's not legal in any sport, and it's never, ever, ever been legal in baseball. It's always been kind of the death penalty in baseball. Everyone knows it,
as it should be. As it should be. You shouldn't be even if the idea of, like, I'm betting on my own team. That's still fucked up. Yes. That's like
to win.
Like that's still bad.
No good.
That's still
bad.
Can't
do that.
But so he fucked up. They gave him opportunities to be like, hey, you know what? Say you're sorry that you did all this shit. We'll look the other way on your off-field, really fucked up shit, and we'll still put you in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose. And he wouldn't do it. And in fact, he, like, rubbed their nose, and he's like, you know what? Instead, I'm gonna go work in Vegas and sign baseballs in Caesars and you know, do whatever the fuck else he was doing out there. They even put him on a show for the playoffs where they're like, Pete, you know what? Let's ingrain you back in baseball. Let's win some favor with the fans. And he was a fucking idiot on that show too. So it's like he did everything possible to not get in the Hall of Fame. So let's respect his wishes and not let him in the fucking Hall of Fame and not really give much of a fuck about him ever again.
I don't think I could say it much better than Treasy did. I agree with absolutely everything that he said. The one thing, I've seen Pete Rose in Vegas a few times, but one of the times I happened to see him, we're out to dinner in Rayos. That's a restaurant. I don't know if it's even open anymore, but it was open at the time. And Pete Rose was a couple tables away. He's wearing his Cincinnati Reds hat. And yeah, Mrs. Beef is bringing it up. We saw him with his quote-unquote niece, a very young girl he was having dinner with. Definitely younger than us. We were in our 20s, and I'm quite sure she was younger than we are. And there's a lot of whispers everywhere about those types of things with Pete Rose. And so, you know, when you're going to really push for a guy and try to help a guy, like, those are the guys I'm probably not going to really, like, voice up and give a shit about pushing for. So, like, not only did he do all the things, Treasy said he has all these other unscrupulous things that are kind of left unsaid, and a lot of people weren't saying them out there in the media who were saying, well, they should give Pete a chance. There's also these other things. So no, I have no interest in him being in the Hall of Fame. Let's leave him out. Let's leave him as a cautionary tale for everybody else out there as they come through and do their journey. And I would say no.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And it does make me think, even as a guy that I am with you, I know how you guys are with roids and the performance enhancing drugs.
Roids, yeah.
Hey, you love them. And it makes me think that that's not even as bad as the whole situation that's been here. And that's not the gambling. It's the actions after the gambling. Watch the Charlie Hustle documentary on the HBO. It just shows you that like it's not really about gambling. It's been him being like kind of a bad person. And they're just like, we're just like, hey, we're going to keep you out because of the gambling. But it's actually a lot of other bullshit things he did. And that's my first call.
Well, it's like you did this fucked up thing that we can keep you out forever, and you're not helping yourself by being a total fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you know, like if you're like the best at whatever you do and you're a piece of shit asshole, like a lot of times that gets allowed, right? But if you're not, if there's a reason for people to keep you out of something and you're a piece of shit, just assume you're never getting into whatever it is. Just like people will keep you out of it because they don't want to deal with your ass, and they don't have to. They have a very valid reason to not. So, you know, think about that next time you go to an interview and you fart.
Was that ketchup?
Now the tuxedos are kind of fucked up. Beef loaf. What do you got for first call?
Boys, I want to apologize in advance for this because it's been stuck in my head for so long, and I thought I probably shouldn't do this on the podcast, but we're doing it on the podcast. Fuck it. I had no other outlet to do this, so I'm going to bring this tweet up. It's by Antonio Brown.
My God.
And Antonio Brown, this was back in April.
Jesus.
He tweeted, Caitlin Clark looks like she keep it hairy. And I've had so many laughs about this because it's such an insane fucking tweet. It's one of the craziest things out there. And like Antonio Brown's whole Twitter account is totally bonkers, right? And he always tags it CTESPN and all this shit, right? But this particular tweet, it got me curious because we talk anteaters sometimes, but we don't talk about who might be keeping it hairy. And so I got 5 people.
There's a reason we don't. There's a reason we don't.
Well, we're violating that tonight. I got 5 people that I'm going to throw out to you guys. Who I want to ask you guys if you think they keep it hairy because
we're not going to talk about Caitlin Clark.
I've been not Caitlin Clark. No. Caitlin Clark's not involved in this at all. Just the idea, just the concept of people who keep it hairy. We're in it's a little different. So I want to throw a couple names out there. I got 5 names, and the commenters feel free to jump in. And I want to know if you think these people keep it hairy. So my first one, and I'll start with MSS. MSS, do you think Roseanne Barr keeps it hairy?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow, it was an instant answer.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so quick?
Yeah, I think she's more of it like originally I thought we were saying Rosie O'Donnell, but Roseanne Barr, yes, absolutely. She just seems gross. This seems like it would be something that she would do. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, as I was thinking about it, it's like, it's gross. Go ahead.
Teresa, how about you? Roseanne Barr?
Yeah, I mean, anti-vax, anti-razor, it all kind of goes together.
Yeah.
Okay, easy. That was a layup, apparently.
The Gillette people are putting
I think the age
in the lubrication strip.
You know, it wasn't,
so I tried to vary the ages here because I
wasn't popular.
Because at first when I was going down the path and I had like Susan Lucci and stuff in there, I was like, we're in the 70s, they're coming up, they're all keeping it hairy. I changed up the list. Don't worry, Susan Lucci's not in there. But next up, and we'll start with Teresa E. Do you think that Marshawn Lynch keeps it hairy?
Oh man,
we're going with fellas too here. All right.
Well, now
I'm gonna say no. I feel like he's got someone to trim it for him. I feel like that. So
he's got a ball cutting assistant. Is what you're saying?
I feel like I love Marshawn Lynch. Let me just get that out.
Oh, he's the best.
All right. And when he does a game with John Shriffen, we're gonna okay because they did slam ball together. They're gonna do this together.
This is baseball.
I assume that Marshawn Lynch has set up his house so that he's like Prince Akeem, and so they don't show it in the movie. But I assume before or after the bathing, there's also manicuring of the entire form. So I say yes. So he trims.
He trims. He does not keep it
hairy.
Well, I should say someone trims him. That's how I feel.
He is groomed, is what you're saying, not keeping it hairy. MSS, what do you think, Marshawn?
So that's what I was just gonna say. You know, like if it's trimmed, and because there's a difference between trimmed and shaved, right? Like we don't
need to be bald. We don't need to be waxed. Doesn't need to be waxed. Just hairy or kept, kind of. Basically,
Okay, so unkept or kept? He's kept.
Yeah,
He's
hairy
definitely
or
kept.
not?
You at a certain point, you don't want your pubes longer than your dick. So you got to like trim that shit down, make it look bigger. This is what you got to do.
Right. Fair enough. White Sox Sal says Sammy Davis Jr. is my Sicilian paisan. He definitely keeps it hairy. We weren't trying to dip into the comments to see who keeps it hairy, but I have my theories on who does and doesn't keep it hairy out there. All right, next up, and we'll start with my Sox Summer. And I hope you know who this is, because I'm not sure if you will know who this is. But do you think Sandra Oh keeps it hairy? Do you know who Sandra Oh is?
Is she the
From she's in Sideways, right?
She's in Sideways. She's in Grey's Anatomy. Oh, he doesn't know. He's not sure.
Now, I think I do know who she is.
Yeah.
Let me just look her up real quick.
Shreezy, I'll go to you then until he looks up. Do you think she keeps it hairy?
I'll say no. I say
Not
no.
hairy. Okay, definitely.
No,
Okay.
I just feel like my man THC in Sideways, he was like he went deep. I feel like
Nah, dude.
I feel like that's a situation where it's all cleaned up. So like I feel like
No.
not keeping it hairy.
Okay.
So here's your problem. She's from Canada, so that's an automatic yes. Okay, natural. you're good. That's just what it is. Okay.
Yeah, it gets cold up there. It gets cold. I understand that. It gets a little cold.
Not even going to get into the fact that she's Asian too, and it's usually a fine petite hair. It's not as gnarly and coarse and gross as like mine, like Italians. So yes, yeah, definitely hairy.
She's it's a discrepancy here. So commenters, feel free to weigh in.
I didn't know what kind of rug doctor we had here.
Hey, listen, I don't know if you guys know, but I used to live out west, so
we heard.
This is like been around.
He's been around Canadian Asian ladies, and he knows. You know,
I don't know about that.
Downstairs, you know.
But Canadians for sure. You got to keep that warmth.
You had a full anecdote about the hair of Asians. I'm not saying.
Yeah, it's not like we came up.
We didn't go there. You brought
No, I'm not denying anything. I'm saying the Canadian thing too is a big deal. Yeah, you got to keep your warmth in there.
Sarah Davis says, "I can't believe MSS would disparage Asians."
I'm not disparaging anything.
I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Just
It's actually quite nice.
Descriptive is what you're saying. So
It's quite nice.
Baloney says everyone from Calgary looks like they got Dougie freshness in a leg. that might be what MSS was getting
from his beard, though, not his head, because his head is
it's basically bald. Yeah,
It's bald.
I think he meant the beard.
bald
Yeah,
eagle.
that's right.
Bald Eagle Jones.
I saw pictures of Dougie recently without the beard, like pre-beard.
When he got married.
Yeah, when he got married.
Married. He looks like every band member of Three Doors Down. Like I like, it's just like you could have told me like, oh yeah, he played bass in 3 Doors Down. I would have been
plays
like,
a mean
yeah,
four string.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
He breaks out the 6 string for
He looked
the
a lot younger if he
the-
shaved that
the
down.
instrumental.
I think he looked a lot younger.
I think so. And if
He's
he
got
strapped
that
on
in his
that, if he strapped on that bass, started playing Superman. Is that them? I don't even.
Wrong
the
man,
sleeve
you
is-
son
yeah.
of a bitch.
It isn't. I thought 3 Doors Down was Superman.
No, it's not. All right.
I mean, Our Lady Peace has a song called Superman,
That-
but that's not the one I'm
He's
talking
thinking
about.
of
Oh,
that.
okay, you're
He's
talking
thinking
about different. I'm thinking of Our Lady Peace. Yeah.
What's the? it's like
Let's
a
not
weird-
get on 3 Doors
Yeah.
Down. Let's
All right,
move
I got
on.
it. It's
Next
gonna
up.
get there. I'll get
Next
there.
up, and we'll start with Treasy here, and I assume he'll know who this person is. Do you think they keep it hairy? Ed Sheeran,
Extremely.
Orange Mound, Orange
Extremely.
Mound. Oh, okay, all right.
It looks like a big pile of orange, like
No.
cotton candy. It's
God damn, man.
That's glorious, man.
Yeah, it's-
MSS.
it's wild and delicious. This is what I hear.
Your brother just doesn't know anything about nothing. Like, listen, if you're gonna sleep with a ginger, right? It's already weird looking anyway. You think he's gonna add to it by making it even more? No, he's trimming that shit down. Probably has a small penis too, and so you got to make sure that it's like well manicured and a short lawn. So then the cock looks bigger. Yeah, no, he's not hairy. He's
John Carney says amber waves of green. He agrees with Teresi there. You think he's trimmed down, MSS? You think,
100%
but the thing
think he's
is, like
trimmed
he's a music star. and like has been since he was young, so like or fairly young.
Ain't no chick gonna come in there and go like, oh my God, look at this fucking red afro around this fucking cocktail weenie. I want to blow that. No, they're gonna. It's like you got to trim it up and make it look nice.
Kirk says he's got sheer in the name. He's baby smooth.
I know. We're currently deep in the Ed Sheeran pubes.
Yes.
But we did just get hit on the side from our guy Alex Rude. There's some breaking baseball news.
Oh shit.
Terry Francona to the Reds.
Oh wow.
So if anyone who was wishing for Francona to come to the Sox, just like Ed Sheeran's pubes, you're out of luck. You've been sheared.
I didn't think he would be interested in the White Sox job. It just doesn't seem. When you're that age, you kind of want to take over a team that might have some chance at something.
Yeah.
Not a couple years worth of rebuild minimum. Like,
They got Ellie. We got Smelly. You know what I mean? We don't got nothing. You can't even sell this. It's horrible.
But I think the important question here is Terry Francona in the 80s. How hairy was he keeping it?
Very, very hairy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume baseball players in the 80s.
A thick Italian hair.
Yeah, that there was a level.
He didn't wear a cup because the bush
His coverage. Yeah, it was protected.
was so strong.
There's no question. Yeah, no, you got him. I think that's absolutely. All right, let's close this out. We'll close this section out. Last one, and we'll start with the MSS. Do you believe that Billie Eilish keeps it hairy?
Initially, I'm like yes, but then I'm like no. She's too young. They're growing up in this shave generation, so. But she could be rebelling against that. I'm saying no. She's in the girls. No, she's definitely taken care of. She's cleaned up.
Teresa, what do you think?
I hope she does. Just it fits the personality. I feel like it fits the personality. It fits the wardrobe, like the
Kinda
whole
does.
bit.
Yeah,
I feel like she'd be like, "Fuck that! That I don't have time for that. I've got so much other shit to do." Me and my brother have to make 1,000
songs for my brother.
1,000 albums a day.
Exactly right.
So we keep our hands off each other. So we.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, you see some of those videos, you're like, what's going on here exactly? I don't know.
It is like I get a kick out of it. It reminds me of remember Angelina Jolie and her brother?
Yeah,
where it was just it's just like, you know that there's not anything weird going on. It just looks weird. It just has such a weird vibe to it. And I mean, good for them if it happened. I don't know. But
no kink shaming.
But yeah, I think Billie, I just feel like, yeah, did she? I feel like she could say that straight faced in an interview too. No, I don't shave my shit. What the fuck? Why would I? And then everybody would be like, oh shit, that's true. Why should she? Why should anyone
ask that? That's dumb. We shouldn't ask
that manscaping business go out of business.
Those ad reads
might already be. Be honest.
It might be.
I don't know. People are like, you can use any other shaver. It doesn't really
The comments
matter.
are super opinionated about this one. Sammy Davis Jr. 5K 10,000%. Jackie Treehorn unquestionably. John Carney unnatural, so she can stroke it lovingly with those press-on nails. Tadahito crotch, yes. Legs and armpits, no. Well, we were doing
that's a good
crotch
point.
only, so I didn't put this in the notes, but our guy CJ says Taylor Swift. What do you guys think?
Oh,
yeah, that's it. I mean, that's a cleaned up situation.
Oh
It's
yeah,
totally trimmed down. Yeah,
There's
that's what I would think too.
she's very well manicured.
there's
overall.
3 people.
There is
that
a
take
level
care
of
that.
neatness about her whole persona, so I think that
Yeah.
that goes in there.
She likes to be
That
clean.
I thought, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my last call. I apologize. It's kind of
First
fucked
call.
up.
That was
but I
your
wanna-
first call.
Oh, my first call. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, we're only halfway through the show.
Yeah. Hey, Chirizi, guess what time it is?
Time to pay some bills, man.
I can tell you all the reasons why Mazda of Orland Park is the best place to buy your next car, but why not let an actual customer tell you about their experience? 10 stars. Showroom was immaculate. No hard sell tactics, no hurried sales pitch, very positive experience. Eric and John were professional, courteous, knowledgeable, and have outstanding customer service skills. Highly recommend this dealership. Want more? Here you go. Excellent customer service from the moment I stepped out of my car and up to the waiting room. Car was serviced and washed in half the time promised. Would highly recommend that Mazda owners consider going to Mazda of Orland Park for their next maintenance check and service. Mazda of Orland Park, home of the Zoom Zoom Nation. 8910 West 159th Street, Orland Park. 708-444-3200. Zoom Zoom.
All right. Guys, it's time for a little White Sox talk. And we got Beef here. Beef's going to help us out. He's going to take us through Jerry's letter. Beef, I'm going to hand it off to you while I drink some of this Wild Turkey 101.
I love it. I love it.
Sounds lovely. So here's the exercise, boys. Jerry Reinsdorf put out a letter to all the fans, much maligned on Twitter. But I really want to get your guys' take on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read excerpts, paragraph or two paragraphs straight. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on what he really means by what he wrote in these things. So I'm going to start off with the very beginning of the letter. And I'll put it up on the screen for the YouTube viewers. Jerry Reinsdorf says, to White Sox fans, by all measures, our on-field performance this season was a failure. As the leader of this organization, this is ultimately my responsibility. There are no excuses. I want to thank you for continuing to support the team throughout what was an embarrassing season. You all deserve better. This season's performance was completely unacceptable, and the varying reactions and emotions from our fan base are completely understandable. My Sox Summer, what does Jerry Reinsdorf really mean by what's written there?
What does he really mean? He really means that. I mean, you can put it back up. He believes that like, yes, this season was horrible. There are no excuses. And it's ultimately his responsibility. And he says all these words just to say, but I really don't give a fuck. Like, I don't even really care. Like, there's at no point in here does it say there's no excuses, but there's also no solutions. Like, he doesn't give you any type of hope that he's going to be doing something to remedy any of these problems in this first opening paragraphs. Like, he's just saying, hey, listen, all your feelings are valid, but they're valid, I guess.
Treasy, what is Jerry Reinsdorf really saying here?
So this reminded me of a famous presidential speech that I'm gonna quote here. I think I got the exact quote, so I'm gonna go with it. It goes, "Shit, I know shit's bad right now, with all that starving bullshit and the dust storms, and we're running out of French fries and burrito coverings." Like, I mean, like, this is like, it is President Camacho. It is a nothing statement. It's a nothing statement. You pull it back up, Beef.
You got it.
He writes in here, as the leader of this organization, that is ultimately my responsibility. He's taking responsibility for this, but he's not, because this is the equivalent.
He don't give a fuck
of when the starting quarterback, like an Aaron Rodgers level starting quarterback, is out there and goes, "My bad." Who gives a fuck? No one's taking you off the field. Like, if Tyson Badgett was out there and says, "My bad," that's kind of meaningful, right? Like, because you're like, they're going to get him the fuck out of there. No one is getting Jerry the fuck out of there except the fucking Grim Reaper. So, like, there's no actual responsibility to be taken here, even though he's just saying the fake word of, like, it's ultimately my responsibility. But ultimately, I don't give a fuck, because it's not. I don't care.
Ultimately, I'll use ChatGPT to write a letter to you guys and hope you forget about all this stuff.
Hey, what are the things I need to say to make them think that I care? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll put them in there.
Let's put this out here. Let's get to a drink real quick. Jerry O'Sullivan says he really means Beef. Congratulations on winning the steak bet. Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate you. I appreciate your suggestions too on what we should order at the steak dinner. I'm gonna pull those up when Josh and I go out. Thank you. Real quick, John Carney says Jerry definitely keeps it waxed. I agree with that. He's keeping it tight there.
He lights his matches off there.
Check this out, Ron.
That's why Kittle sticks around.
Has Jerry ever used his dick to light your cigar? He has with me. Got this ring positive.
Excerpt number 2. And this is from Jerry's letter. While embracing new ideas and outside perspectives, we will do everything we can to fix this for 2025 and the future. This will include further development of players on our current roster, development within our system, evaluating the trade and free agent markets to improve our ball club, and new leadership for our analytics department, allowing us to elevate and improve every process within our organization with a focus for competing for championships. In fact, change has already been happening in our baseball operations group throughout the past year. We named general manager in 2023 Chris Getz, and his staff immediately began conducting a top-to-bottom evaluation of our existing operations. Chris is rebuilding the foundation of our baseball operations department, with key personnel changes already happening in player development, international scouting, professional scouting, and analytics. Some of these changes will be apparent quickly, while others will need time to produce the results we all want to see at the major league level. Teresa E., what is Jerry Reinsdorf really saying with this paragraph?
It's very obvious what he's saying. I read all those articles, and he's still on the President Camacho, because right now he's going, now I understand everyone's shit is emotional right now, but I've got a 3-point plan to fix everything. And then the 3-point plan is the same as Camacho's. It's Chris Getz. It's instead of Vice President not sure, it's Chris Getz.
It's Chris Getz.
So, but yeah, it just feels like they said, you used the ChatGPT example earlier, right? You're like, take all the articles that have been written about us this week and how we have not progressed in any facet of owning a team, and then craft a response that says we have. And
we're going to do all the stuff you said.
That's the response. All those things you're mad about, we're fixing them. How? Chris Getz.
My Sox summer.
You got to pull that back up.
What is Jerry saying there? I'll pull it back up.
Pull it back up. Okay, so the beginning, while embracing new ideas and outside perspectives, we will do everything we can
which
to
they've never
this for 2025 and the future. Now, that sounds encouraging, right? You're like, okay, we're finally going to do everything we can. But then he kills the fucking boner with the next one where he says, this will include further development of the players on our current roster. What? Development within our system. Huh? Evaluating the trade and free agent markets to improve our ball club, and new leadership for our analytics department. So he throws in there trade and free agent markets, but is like, we're going to evaluate that, but probably still not going to do anything. Evaluating us to elevate and improve every process within our organization with a focus for competing for championships.
MSS, you caught that beautifully. That like, everything else in this statement, he's like, we're doing this, we're doing that, we have new leadership.
Right.
Except for trade and free agent markets, he just says evaluating them.
We're going to evaluate that.
If you have ever gone into a meeting as a professional person and said, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z, this is why we should do this, you present your case to the upper management and they say, we'll evaluate it, they're telling you, get the fuck out of the room, you're wasting our time. We're going to evaluate this later by going, fuck that guy, we're not doing that.
So we got that. Pull that back up there, Wolf.
You got it.
And then, I like that he's saying this, because I think there is a bit of truth to this. A lot of the stuff that is changing, we're not going to see like on the face, right? Like you're not going to see it immediately, and it might take a long time to go. But for the guy that's in charge saying that to me just says, hey, listen, it might or might not happen, but you might not see it, but there's definitely some change going on. So don't worry about that change. It's probably just happening. Don't worry about it. So, but yes, you can take it down now. But
it's got a real source. Trust me, bro. Feel to it, right? Like that has a lot of that to it.
It does. But it's just like, if we didn't know this guy, if this was like Jerry's second year on the job, you'd be like, okay. All right. Yeah, fine. Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna give this guy a pass, and it's just a bad year, historically bad. You can't get worse than this. Like they just missed a lot of signals. It's like no. This guy's got a lot of fucking years in the game. He knows how this shit works, and he's actively not doing the things that work. Like if you look at all of the playoff teams that have been playing, what have they done? Paid for players. You bought these people, or you developed them by paying the people below them to make them better. Right. Like there's two ways to do it, right? We've talked about it at length. You either grow it yourself or you buy it, and we do neither. So you can't just be like, well, I don't understand why I'm smoking this fucking bullshit weed that I bought at the gas station. Well, because it's cheap and it's crappy. If you want good stuff, you need to like either pay for it or learn how to fucking grow it yourself, you cheap bastard.
I just love that like they constantly keep going back to this, like, we've got to develop the players we have, and it's like the guy you hired to be the GM was in charge of that for damn near a decade.
A long time.
It was his job.
I don't know if he's good at it. In fact, my guess would be he's bad at it.
Look at that way.
Might not be his fault, but we're gonna find out very soon. Because, like, you know, hey, it's on there.
Because we're looking into it. Alex Rude in the comments says, a parting shot to Kenny and Rick by saying they want to replace all the internal hires they made because they all suck ass. Yeah, there's been shots the second half of the year by Getz and everyone else in the organization really shooting daggers at the last group. It's been,
which they
for
should.
me, it's been enjoyable because that group fucked up a lot.
They did. But it's good, but it's only good if it's true.
And it's only good if you actually fix it. You actually do better than they do.
In 5 years, we're going to know if you fucking did something right or not, like in change. Absolutely. Or 2 years. And trust us, we have all the time in the world because we're not going to.
We'll be here. We'll be here and we'll be drinking.
We'll be here.
Excerpt number 3 from Jerry's letter. Our organization's most important decision in the coming months is to evaluate and identify a new manager and leadership voice for this organization. Chris is well underway with this search. He has identified the key attributes and preferences for our next manager and has already begun an exhaustive search with a wide range of candidates to lead the White Sox in the clubhouse and dugout. My Sox Arm, what is he really saying here?
Listen, this is terrifying. Everything about this is terrifying. And what it speaks to me, this is the one that I can read right through. We've already decided that Grady Sizemore is the next manager, so don't even worry about us doing anything else. Chris already looked at all the available people. They all said no, so you're getting Grady Sizemore, so just calm the fuck down. Girls, you'll be celebrating, you'll be happy, but that's who's going to be there.
I'm saying I'm with my Sox Summer here. Like this just all this feels like is that they learned their lesson from last year of just outright going like, oh, it's Chris Getz is the new GM. They're like this Jerry, the way Jerry could have written this, to be like truly honest, is like, trust me, dude, we looked everywhere, especially at black dudes. I assure you, black dudes were included, but we ended up with Grady Sizemore. That's his statement.
Hey, first of all, Grady Sizemore's half black, so that's
okay. So he's
kind of covering.
He gets the job done there. Okay.
Yeah. So he's both, right? Like he's #1 minority manager. But no, Willie Harris has been asked. He's already said no, so we're good.
We're good. We're all good. John Carney in the comments says, what this really means is, hey, Grady, you want it?
Yeah. Basically, I mean,
basically what you guys are saying. Yeah, exactly.
100%.
They're very much going out of their way to say that they're doing this exhaustive search that they're not doing.
There's so many buzzwords in here too, because exhaustive, dude. Come on, exhaustive. And then the other one, they kept saying improvement. You're just like, okay, yeah. And they're just like, hey, we heard this 17 times in the 6, surveys we sent out this year. Put this in the speech. Put this in the letter. You have to say exhaustive.
Make sure you put that in there.
It's just like the exhaustive search that they conducted at the score. And they're just like, hey, wait a minute.
Hey, Lawrence, how about you just go on that other show? Oh, yeah, very exhaustive. You looked everywhere and you found the guy who was already sitting there. That was perfect.
He already works here, so we might as well just put him there. Hey, same thing's going to happen with Grady. He's already here. He's done it. People seem to enjoy it. Fuck, we won 5 of our last 6 games. Fucking give him the fucking keys to the car.
It's great. It's Grady or Schumacher, right? Like, I mean, like that's the at the end of the day, that's the
Marlins guy, right? Or the
Marlins guy. Yeah.
Like if he's willing to take it, like, because if I were Skip, I'd be like, no, I just experienced this. It was terrible.
I'm going to take a year off. How's that sound? Excerpt number 4 from Jerry Reinsdorf's letter. Even in the worst of seasons, where at times it felt like nothing was going right, there were bright spots that provided reasons for optimism about our future. The overall health of our organization is improving. Our minor league rankings show this growth. The Class AA Birmingham Barons won the Southern League title, while Class A Kannapolis reached the finals of the Carolina League, and our organization has built an impressive future pool of very talented prospects. Chirizi E, what is Jerry Reinsdorf saying right here?
I mean, I think this is maybe the most honest part of this is that they like really believe that this is like the next group of guys coming up. But this is the scariest part to me. So this is the part where it's all on these guys to come up and be great. Like, we're not filling it in. We're just evaluating if we should fill things in. We're not filling anything in. We expect these guys to come up and all be good. And that's going to be our next team. And this is the plan. The plan is these guys all hit their top expectations and we're a good team again. Otherwise, you know, it's someone else's fault. We got to fire the next guy.
Yeah.
That's it. Just feels like the same thing as last time, where there's no other plan than all these guys be great.
It's trust the prospects again, Treasy, is what
It
you're
is.
saying. It was
It
trust
is.
the prospects. Like, remember the guy had the shirt and he had all the prospects' names on there, and this guy and this guy and this guy.
Yeah.
I need
Bobby
someone to
Knapp.
make that shirt now. Yeah, oh, it's Bobby Knapp. Yeah.
Yeah,
I need
next
someone to
sock.
make that shirt now with all these prospects that you don't hardly even know their names. There's a
Don't know
handful
their
that you do know their names, but a bunch that you don't know their names, and just throw them all on there and see. Even teams, guys from the Kannapolis team that got to the finals. Go ahead, throw them on there too, and let's see what it looks like.
That might be a good thing, though, Loaf, not to know their names, because then we
I
can't
agree.
be disappointed when they suck and don't come up. Because then you can't say, well, what happened to a fucking so-and-so? Where'd this guy go? Where is Alec Hansen? Like, I just don't know, you know, like you don't have a name to go out there and say, I don't understand why this guy isn't here. He was supposed to be really good. You told me a million times he's supposed to be good, and now he's not there. So
Right.
I don't disagree with Chirizi that it's kind of terrifying that that's what they're going for, but we already kind of know that. We know they're not going to be going into free agency, so it's like I already know that it's not going to happen. So it's like, okay, well, now we're going to bank on this. Now, what they fail to say, what he fails to say in there is like we're going to continue to provide these teams with everything they need to develop these players to get them where they're supposed to be. Like that would be something that I want to do. Is like we have chosen to invest heavily in the future guys coming up with whether it be evaluating talent or making sure that they're not sleeping on a fucking air mattress with 7 other dudes. You know, like just like throw like some of those in there, you know, like, hey, we're going to give them the best facilities. They show they're doing something. So we're not just going to expect them to go to the order off the dollar menu for the remainder of their fucking minor league career. So, you know, I wish he would allude to something, but we all know what's at play here. And it's like, listen, you won a championship already. So now come to the major leagues and do that too for us, please.
Absolutely. Excerpt number 5, and this will close out Jerry Reinsdorf's letter. It says, whether said out loud or written in a statement, words are easy. I understand we need to show our progress through action. And I commit to you that everyone associated with the White Sox is focused on returning this organization to the level of success we all expect and desire. Above everything else, I'm a fan of baseball, of Chicago, and of the White Sox. Every loss this season, every blown save, every defensive miscue, every shutout, every sweep hurt. It was a long, painful season for all of us. We recognize on a daily basis that it is our responsibility to earn your trust, attention, time, and support. We vow to take that approach daily as we put the work in this offseason to be better. We owe it to each and every one of you, Jerry Reinsdorf. My Sox Summer, what is he really saying here?
In the beginning part where he's like, whether out loud or written in a statement, he's saying, listen, I don't have the balls to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk. I've never wanted to talk. Unless things are good, I don't want to talk to you. So just take this as my word that, you know, hey, I'm upset. He's also saying that everyone wants to return the organization to the level of success we all expect and desire. The level of success of the White Sox is spotty at best. I don't know exactly what level we're going to attain, which might be okay if we're just going to try to make the playoffs like every 12 years. Like, it's probably good. We could probably do that. The last part, fan of baseball and a fan of Chicago, and then telling me that like everything hurt him. Bullshit. It did not hurt you, because if it hurt you, you would be trying to figure out how do we do this and how do we fix this and fix it quickly. You know, it isn't sign Tommy Pham. It isn't sign the the other pitcher, Clevinger. It isn't do that. It's like go out and get somebody that can actually come in and help do this and get it back. And one thing I'm totally fucking done with. Listen, I don't need to trust my baseball team. Okay, you don't need to earn my trust back. I don't give a fuck. I just want to go to a baseball game, drink beer, and watch a team that's like marginally competitive for the most part, and like put up a 500 fucking record. Okay, you don't need to. I don't trust you to win anything. I'm not like need to put trust in you. Okay, stop saying that. Like I'm tired of hearing that because you're not going to do it. You're not going to show something. You're not going to do something that makes me go, oh, I fucking trust you now. I didn't trust you before. Now I trust you. And, like trust is for like friends and family and kids and all that shit. I don't trust my kids either. But like, it's just like fucking, you don't need to continually tell me I need to earn back your trust. I don't give a fuck. Put a good team on the train. Do it dirty. Maybe be bad, cheat. I don't give a fuck. Put it out there. I don't want to trust you. I just want you to have a fucking team that wins. Okay.
I love it.
That's it. That's all for me.
Treasy, what do you think Jerry Reinsdorf was saying with this last?
I love everything MSS said. I'm just going to say that these last two paragraphs and that sentence, not for us. That was not to the fans. That's him going, you know what? I'd love to win. I would love to. I'm a fan of baseball and of Chicago. But Governor Pritzker, I need money. I need a new stadium.
I can't sell tickets.
$4 billion.
I need $4 billion, please. That's just it. May I have money?
Treasy, can you imagine the letter that gets written and sent down to Springfield? It's like, I understand that
we are in dire straits.
21 games. I understand that our attendance numbers are in the shitter, but if you look at the last 5 games that we played, we're back in it.
I think it reads more like King Jaffe Jaffer. We are in dire straits. Please send $4 billion American dollars.
You lose King Jaffe Jaffer and fucking the Big Mick. You lose them in the same fucking
man
2-week period.
Yeah, no, that's brutal.
I mean, my God,
actually,
you better watch his shit.
John Amos died back in August.
Oh,
and
really?
That release, the family didn't even know that he had passed away. There was like some weird situation around this. Yeah, there's like it's a developing story basically. Like
that tweet though.
Did he get killed by the pussy?
That's the tweet you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe he couldn't move after it, allegedly.
Holy fuck! Who tweets that? Who the fuck tweets that?
Girls that got good pussy, man. Keep it clean.
You motherfuckers are throwing me off. The comments, they want to sound off on this last paragraph. HBIC says it's Jerry saying, fuck the fans. Tanahito says, after hearing Beef read this, I feel he could read children's books on tape. Very soft inflection. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
A little too nasally for me.
John Carney says, just be sure this gets released in the middle of the Bears game. I mean, that's the part. I saw that on Twitter.
So
People
weird.
were mentioning like, oh yeah, put it out during the Bears game so no one will notice it during the last game of the season. Absolutely. Chicago White Sox partner says Juck Ferry. Yeah, I mean that's and then JT says this entire statement translates to Jerry won't be at Sox Fest.
Well,
Probably
listen,
not. Yeah, it's probably
he's not gonna be.
He'll be at the
they're
after
gonna have
party
Sox
with us
Fest.
though.
There's no
Like,
way.
yeah. It's gonna be an interesting Sox Fest. Because if any of these rumors that have been told to me are true, it's gonna be an interesting Sox.
Yeah,
That's all I gotta
is.
say.
Yep.
That's all I gotta say.
Jerry's our closing act. He's going to do a DJ set after us.
Dude. Jerry would be a killer DJ in the 1930s. He'd probably have been really good. Like he's
on a
just like,
fucking Victrola.
Get out your squeeze box. Let's go.
Jesus.
Holy
Beef,
shit.
one more piece here, right? We got
That's
one
right.
more White Sox
One
talk.
last
Why don't
thing.
you
One
get
last
into it,
little
man, my man?
All right, so I had one question for you guys, and it's pretty straightforward, and it probably won't take that long. But my question for the group, and each of us will answer this, is what White Sox thing is occupying your mind heading into the offseason? See, we ingest all these games. We're at the ballpark, and we're doing all this stuff, and it's chaos. It's taking a long time. Yeah, it's that way? Whatever.
Give it to him first.
And it's furious. We get through it, and then we get to the offseason and start gathering our thoughts. And so, Treasy, what thing is occupying you about the White Sox right now heading into the offseason?
There's a few things, but the thing that's spinning through my head the most is I think they really like Miguel Vargas at third base, right? I do not know what they're going to do with Brian Ramos, and it's as confusing and scary as any situation, because I think that, like, of the guys that I feel like on the hitting side that have potential, he feels like, to me, the number one guy that like I'm excited about, that I'm like, watching this guy hit, it looks like he knows what he's doing at the plate. He's got a good idea of the strike zone. When he puts the wood to the ball, he can really hit the ball hard. He can be a home run guy. There's a lot going on there. But if Vargas is there, if we stick with the first base situation that we have, there's really, like, kind of right now no position for Brian Ramos. So I'm, like, really wondering what their plan is for him, and, like, hoping that there is an actual plan and not just like let's figure it out as we go. Yeah. Like, I want there to be a plan for this guy, and I'm nervous that there's not. And that's the thing that keeps running through my mind about this team.
Yeah, Treasy. I mean, like, I've said it before. I thought Ramos is the most athletic of these guys that are coming up that potentially might end up at third base. And he's the most malleable to actually move to another position. However, he shouldn't just get moved because of that. Like, he shouldn't be passed over of the position that he's more natural at and theoretically better at than the guy. Like, I think he's a better defender than Vargas, just having watched them in short sample sizes each. And, like, he shouldn't be pushed out of the spot just because you want to develop that guy, and that's the only position that guy can play. I mean, it's a very thorny spot, and I hope that they don't automatically just do that. I think they should really give it a lot of thought, and if they realize that, look, Ramos is better there, then you got to have Vargas at DH, or, clear that spot open for him or whatever to get him plate appearances. I don't think they're giving up on Vargas. I mean, like, it would shock me.
No,
if they had just traded for him and they're like, well, you're the odd man out. I think he's going to get a bunch of plate appearances at least the first half of the season, and so it's a very weird spot. Like, I don't think you're going to move Ramos over to second or anything like that. Like, they've talked about the outfield, and it's like, well, yeah, that's tough to learn when you've been on playing in the dirt the entire time.
Yeah, and that's really what I'm worried about. Is I'm like moving him to right field, and if it doesn't stick in right field, he looks bad in right field. Now that's a problem, and it's really not why he's even on the team, right? And, like,
right,
I just don't want them to fuck this up, and I give every indication that they're going to, and that hurts my sleep at night.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
My Sox summer, what's occupying your mind?
So
heading into
on field, what occupies my mind is who are the new group of veterans that we're going to bring in for the pitching staff that's going to shore up the pitching staff to get them, right. We got to get somebody in there. We're going to find something in the bargain bin, something that appears to be broken but actually isn't broken, that we can fix and then turn it into something good. I think as bad as the season was, the brightest spot for the Sox was pitching wasn't as bad as we thought it was going to be. Like, it really, the starting pitching. Let me be very clear. So, like, I think that they have something there, and I just want to see them continue to grow the young talent that they have, because I think they have a crop of good kids, and then who they can bring in to, like, continue what's going on there. There's something working there. So it's like, we need to, like, push this and see how that goes. That to me is the biggest thing, like, going into the offseason. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how they fill in the roster in general, position players and pitchers, because you have quite a bit you have a coggle of pitchers ready to come up, but you also don't want to, like, force them all up in a situation. So you want to add a few veterans just to make sure you have enough blockage of those people. And then the offense was so bad. I don't know, like, where do you add and where do you decide, like, we're throwing this this position 650 plate appearances for the year is going to go to people we're trying to develop, or this is like we need to like save the roster and not lose 120 again. Like it's kind of a weird spot they're in. I agree with all of this, MSS. Like, well, what's it going to look like when you start shopping in free agency? We know it's going to be at the bottom, like you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, they did, and they had success this offseason. Eric Fetty's a huge success.
Yeah.
Garrett Crochet turning into what Garrett Crochet turned into this year, or became, or whatever, was great. Like, and like, let's not just think, oh, he just did that himself. That wasn't just that. I mean, that's years of working with, with cats and like knowing and keeping his mental right, that he knows when he comes in, he can fucking take over. And maybe that mental was just so strong. He's like, I need to get the fuck out of here. So I got to pitch my ass off this year, and like go to that next step. I mean, I don't know what it is, but like that was just amazing. It was an amazing year for Garrett Crochet. So
I don't want to trade him. I don't want to trade Crochet.
In the comments, Ian Eskridge says Andre Vaughn is a key cog. I've been told.
We have Andre Vaughn at home.
That's been a Twitter battle so far.
He should be a non-tender.
He should be a key cog somewhere else. Treasy saying.
Loaf, are you going to contribute?
I was just going to ask Beef what his does.
Yeah, what's your thing?
I am absolutely going to contribute, and I'll be honest with you guys. I am so nervous right now, and I rarely get nervous about moves or whatever. I am
Just
so
shit in your
nervous about Getz fumbling the bag with Garrett Crochet. I'm nearly positive that they're going to trade him, but the trade so far, and some of it is the climate. Some of it's the climate of trading good players. You can't just grab the Baseball America list or the MLB pipeline and say, you got the 12th best prospect in Major League Baseball and the 74th and then the 103rd and like, oh, it's a good trade. Trades like that are very rare now, and you don't get those real high-end guys. So really what you have to depend on is your team evaluating really young prospects on other teams. And that scares the shit out of me, basically, with the White Sox because they've never been good at that. And, like, you watch the Eric Fetty trade, and a lot of people had a lot of opinions on that, but part of the key, two key guys in that are 19 years old. And some people love those guys, and other people were like, well, they're up-the-middle players, but they're not shortstops, so, whatever. They're not going to be that great. And, like, a lot of this concerns me. And when I started looking at prospects a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't want him going to the Dodgers. I don't want him going to the Padres. And it shocked me, but I looked at the prospect list. Unless they're trading someone off the Major League roster, I don't want him to go to the Orioles either. And I started realizing, like, it is tough out there to find, like, we want bats. We need bats to come back for Garrett Crochet. You thought he was under pressure when Fetty got traded to get bats, and they got 3 bats. We don't know if any of them will be good. But Garrett Crochet has got to bring back an impact bat, probably 2 impact bats for this team. They really need it desperately. And I'm just terrified that Getz is going to fumble the bag on this, boys.
I'm with you. I don't want him to be traded. Like I look at the situation and go, you can have a reasonable starting 5 if Garrett Crochet is at the top of that rotation.
Yep.
And when you take him away, it becomes much weaker, right? Like so, keep him there.
Yeah.
Fill in, get 1 veteran in there. And now your rotation is fine. And then get some bats. And you know what? I know they want to field well. Give me fucking Dan Uggla at second base. I want someone who could hit 20 home runs at second base. Get rid of Vaughn and Sheets and get any free agent first baseman. Give me fucking Josh Bell and Carlos Santana. And that's your first base and DH. Like, these are things that you could do, and they're not expensive.
Right.
They're not expensive things. And you can have, and this is wild, a functioning Major League Baseball team.
It sounds like a lot to ask.
I'm not saying a division winner, but I'm saying a team that you go to see and you're like, we might win today. A team that when they're up 3 runs in the 5th inning, we're not all getting out our phone and betting against them in the live line. Man. It's a dream, I know.
I don't want to
but
do that.
I think we get there pretty easily. And keeping Garrett Crochet is at the top of my list to do that.
You know what you said there, Treasy, and this is why I have a like maybe undue faith in the pitching staff and the like our pitching area. is because we could have said the same thing last year. Like, don't trade Dylan Cease, because if you have Dylan Cease at the top of your rotation, you still have a thing. And now we're a year in, and you're like, as long as we have Garrett Crochet, a guy that only pitched like 200 fucking innings the 2 years before, like, we're gonna be okay, you know. And so like, it's odd, and it is fucking just bananas to even think like, dude, like, we just lost 121 games, but like, starting pitching doesn't look as bad as we think it could be. You know,
Right.
like, that's just nuts. It's just nuts to even say. It's just crazy, man. That's on drug shit. That somebody thinks that on drugs. Like,
It says Bell made 2.5 this year. He'll want 5 to come here. Yeah, that's less than we're gonna have to pay Vaughn in arbitration.
Yeah, according to MLB trade rumors, they projected it, and it's over $6 million. Like, that's a lot of money for Vaughn for his production. You know.
Before we do last call, or not last call, before we do thank yous and GF,
Let's do last call. Let's do.
there's one thing I want to talk about that's off the field that I'm going to be paying very close attention to this offseason. And you know what that is?
What's that?
James Fegan and Sox Machine. I need to know what's going to happen here. What is going to happen?
This one we're going to be tracking. We're going to be tracking.
Is James Fegan going to resign with the young guys? Or is he going to go off and test the waters of free agency and go and sign with the majors? He's already been rebuffed by the Athletic, okay? You know, so we don't he's probably not going to go back there because of pride. I understand that. But you got the Sun-Times, you got the Tribune, you got he could be an afternoon guy at the Score. Who knows? But that's something that I'm going to be watching. And I'll tell you what, it does not give me like good juju, good thoughts, thinking of my man James Fegan bending over my other man, Josh Nelson, being like, give me money, bitch. Give me more money. Like, I look at what I have created. So that to me is something that I am going to be paying very close attention to in the offseason until Josh Nelson announces and tells me, hey, we're bringing back James Fegan one more year. Now, maybe James Fegan, maybe he's too aloof for these guys. He wants to drive pickup trucks when he goes out to spring training, right? He's not like our guy Sam Anderson from the New York Times, stays in a hotel, the Ohio House downtown Chicago, where I think 7 prostitutes were murdered the entire time he was here, covering the White Sox, hoping they were going to break the thing.
Yeah.
That's not James Fegan. So I don't know. I don't know whose side I'm on here. Do I want Fegan's like in-depth good reporting that go along with the Sox Machine podcast, or do I want them to have some more money and not have to worry about, you know, James Fegan trying to live his best life on our friend's dime? I don't know. It's going to be a compelling thing. It's going to be a compelling offseason.
I mean, Alex Rude's right. It's the most compelling free agency to follow for White Sox fans. That's
100%.
absolutely correct. Great job bringing that up.
Well, now it is time for thank yous and GFYs. Beef, who are you thinking of GFY?
I got a few, boys. I want to thank Sox of Gold for coming on. That was great. I'm really happy that he came on and explained to us why he was booing. And he didn't think we were idiots. I was shocked. Well, not about the booing, anyway. I want to thank Joe Sheehan for coming on the Au Jus this week. He's one of my personal favorites. It was really cool that he came on, and he was actually really nice in all the communications leading up to that. So that was cool. Like they say, you know, kind of don't meet your heroes, but he was really nice, really cool, and we had a fun time on the show. And lastly, I want to thank Jordan, Nick, and Duke at Sox on 35th for having me on the podcast again. Chopped it up with them the other day. Is the podcast out there? I'll retweet it. So those are my thank yous.
MSS, who are you thinking?
I'm going to GFY that guy that died in Orland. No, I'm kidding. I'm not really doing that. Not doing that at all. I want to give a big, huge thank you, but also GFY to everyone that bought our history shirt. We sold a bunch of those shirts. We made a big order today. We're throwing that out to a local guy in Chicago who is just, you know, is going to be really excited to have a really nice big order. So thank you everyone that ordered that. I will be giving away tons and tons of shit that is in my basement. Not actual shit like White Sox stuff. We will throw this up. It will be loaded. But yeah, no, we're going to do that. It's going to be a very long process for me to ship all this stuff, but I will do it in a weekend, and I know I will get it done. So thank you, everyone that ordered a history shirt. Chorizo.
I'm doubling down on that, man. I couldn't believe how many people ordered that shirt. I really want to thank everybody for doing that. It's always good when we can put something out and people are excited about it, even when it's about how fucking terrible this team was. But it was cool to see, and I do think people who support us and by buying a shirt. But I more appreciate when you buy us drinks, and I appreciate you all tonight who bought us drinks.
Yes.
So
Cheers.
thanks everybody, and we'll see you very soon.